when your brother was in the womb, was it a human being?
I believe that
Say the truth.
on my moral compass, I believe that he was. I don't believe that we could use Christianity as I don't believe that we could use Christianity as a good moral basis for certain laws, considering that historically speaking, Christianity has committed many atrocities. I mean, the Christian Crusades killed many people, and they destroyed a lot of our written texts that didn't agree with Christian points, like, for example, the works of Sappho.
The works of what?
Sappho.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, anyways, I don't. And also, I understand that this is Catholicism, but also the schools in Canada that abused many Native American people. I just don't see how we could argue that Christianity is the great moral authority that you're saying it is for making these laws when arguably they've done a lot of horrible things.
What moral code do you live by?
I'm a Buddhist, so I mean...
So it's all about yourself?
No, it's just about being... Well, I guess you could say that. But
I know, yeah, I know Buddhism. So let's play it out. What is the top accomplishment of a Buddhist?
I guess just to be a good person and...
No, to reach nirvana, you know that.
Well, yes, but not everyone can reach nirvana.
I know, but you want to
It's
try
not
to
possible.
ascend, right? And so it's all about yourself, all inward looking, right? To try to limit your touch with the outside world, that the outside world is dirty and it's, you know, it's kind of polluted.
I don't believe... as a Buddhist, that's not how I was taught, and I don't think it's fair for you to argue for Buddhism in that sense, because
Oh no, that's
you're
what
not
Buddhism.
a Buddhist.
No, I know plenty about Buddhism. Like, so Buddhism, as it's written, is that the world is contaminated. We must remove ourselves from the world, and we're going to spiritually ascend ourselves by meditation.
But there's people who don't believe in that.
Well, then you don't
There's
believe in
different
Buddhism. That's fine.
sects
It's okay.
Of Buddhism, and they believe in all different kinds of things.
So
Just
that's
as
fine.
there's different sects
So
of
can you-
Christianity, I'm just not in that sect.
Got it. So can you what moral way do you think society should live by? Not Christianity. So what way should we live by?
I think that it's not as much about morality as much as societal, and it's just societal needs. Like, for example, like abortion, we can't argue that, you know, Christianity is the reason that we should not allow abortions when clearly there's both a medical and a societal need for abortions.
There's not a medical reason to kill babies, right? So that doesn't exist.
Okay,
But-
well, I have one example for that. My mother had Vasoprevia, and they had offered her an abortion because birthing the baby would not only kill her, and like if she went into labor, because the placenta had split into many little veins and covered her birth canal, if she ever went into labor, and my little brother at the time, if he had pushed on the birth canal to exit her, she would have died. Both her and her son would have died.
Did your
and
brother
she is
survive
our-
or no?
I want to continue with this point. So she was offered the opportunity for an abortion because not only was she the main breadwinner of her family, but she is also raising 2 kids as well already. The right to an abortion is possibly could have saved her life. She did end up surviving, but not. I don't think that we should limit the ability to get an abortion to other women in her
Wait,
situation.
hold on, time out. So your brother you know now.
Huh?
Is your brother survive or no?
Yes, he did.
Wait, so
but
aren't you glad your brother wasn't aborted? I mean, come on.
I don't.
What kind of argument is that?
I don't
Aren't you
think
glad your
that-
brother's not dead?
It's not that. I'm glad that he wasn't aborted.
Yes,
but
so
I'm
that's
also,
so we're
like,
pro-life. That's what we want. We don't want your brother to be aborted. Imagine how many millions other like him are
Yes,
aborted.
but if my mom died,
She
in
didn't.
That,
It's not even a good argument.
well, there's so many people that did.
No,
There's,
that's
like,
not correct. I said that earlier. It only happens a couple dozen times a year, and the baby could be delivered by C-section.
People with Vasoprevia have a much higher rate of death than other women
Yes,
who are
this
pregnant.
happens
And
maybe a couple hundred times a year, and there's 1.5 million abortions every single year. This
yes,
is on the
but
extreme
if
of the
we
extreme.
have to take away abortions, then we're taking away from everybody, even the people who have a medical need for abortion, where the baby is going to kill them if they come out.
Again, I can
There's-
grant you that, fine, we'll have those exceptions. Can we make abortion illegal for the other circumstances?
No, because
Oh,
then,
so maybe it's not about those circumstances.
No,
You're
it
just
is about
using
those,
it.
It is about
really?
those circumstances, because when we take away those rights from everyone and we go into a hospital and there's an emergency need to remove a baby, then we have to prove that there's an actual emergency need instead of just it being an automatic right. Then doctors
You
aren't
don't
going
have
to
a
be
right
willing
to murder another human being.
It's not necessarily a right. It's
Is
just
it
the
a-
ability to
So
be
when
able,
your brother was in your mom's womb, was your brother a human being?
I mean, I don't want to argue that. I think that we could
No, it's
argue about
it's
that
not an
for
argument,
a
it's a
long
question.
time.
When your
I don't
brother
think
was
it's
in
useful.
when your brother was in the womb, was it a human being?
I believe that
Say the truth.
on my moral compass, I believe that he was, but I don't think that my moral compass should dictate the medical needs
Got
and
it.
the
So what
societal
moral
needs
compass?
of others.
Fine. What moral compass should we use to write laws then?
Not necessarily a single one. I think that everyone's moral compass is different, and
which
that we
one
should
wins?
be able to.
Which one should say? Let's, for
The
example.
one that supports women the most, the one that
By
allows
what
women to
standard,
get
though?
medical.
Why is that? Why is that good? I mean, by what book do you reference? By some moral standard you're appealing to. What is it?
Sorry, what?
No, yeah. By what moral standard do you say that we should have health care for women? Why? What? At some point, you're basing this on something. What is it?
I think that it's not even a moral standard. It's in
It
the
is. Oh.
Constitution. Women should have equal rights, and that includes the right to.
You do not have a right to
choice.
murder another because life is the first right. We've been through that. But I'm saying, but at some point you say you don't want Christianity to have the moral source. So I ask you, by what moral code should we live by?
Well, I don't think there's a defining moral code that we should live by. We all
Of course
have
there is.
different-
Should we help the sick?
Well, yes,
we help
but
the poor?
there's okay, but my
Should
moral
we
code
feed the
as
hungry?
a Buddhist is that I should never kill an animal. And many Christians hunt. Many people, kill animals for a living. That's how
I'm
they
not
make
talking
a
about your
living.
personal. Society has to make decisions, right?
Yeah,
So-
and when society makes decisions, they should account for the fact that everyone has a different moral compass. If we're a society that, first of all, a modern society, we shouldn't be basing our moral compass
Oh,
off
but hold on
of
a
a
second.
book
You're
made thousands of years ago.
well, first of all, Buddhism's very old too. But contradicting.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
That's why I don't think Buddhism.
but
I don't think we should ban people
there's a
going out to
contradiction
hunt
here, though.
because
Time
I
out.
don't believe in killing
At
animals.
some point, we have to decide what laws to make. We have to say something.
and I think the laws should be dependent on
what?
how we can most benefit the people already existing in our society.
Well, okay, but don't people in the womb exist?
That's you could argue that for so long. I don't think it's really useful when
It's
we're
very
talking
useful.
about.
Are you glad you weren't aborted? Are you glad you weren't aborted?
I'm not. I mean, if it was something that if aborting me would have benefited my mother far more than having me would have, then I wouldn't be necessarily angry about it. It's not.
See, I'm glad your mom did not abort you because I think life is beautiful. And I want to give that gift to as many people as possible.
That's true.
Yeah, but you're also in the same turn taking that gift away from women. If a woman has a medical need and her life is in danger,
I've already
for
granted.
having this
Let's say
baby.
abortion is legal for medical circumstances. 1.4 million.
But then when we get rid of abortion for those exceptions, right, we need to think about how it is applied in the actual.
Abortion is the #1 form of birth control in the country right now. Over 1.4 million abortions every single year for non-rape, non-incest, non-life of the mother.
It's really the #1 form of birth control in this country.
Well, that we know
I
of.
highly doubt
Actually,
that.
if you think
I'm
about
sorry,
it, if you
that's
think
crazy.
about the day after pill.
That's crazy.
Right? If you think about the
People
day
are spending
after pill.
$50 for a abortion instead of the pull-out method, getting a condom. You really think? I'm
Hold on.
sorry. In your twisted worldview, you really
Hold
think
on, let's
the
think
number
about
one
it.
form
Plan
of birth
B.
control is abortion?
Plan B.
I'm sorry. That's crazy.
No, Plan B, right? Abortifacients, at-home abortions, chemical abortions, surgical abortions. All those can be defined as abortifacients. Yes, you might be right. Okay, you might say condoms are more than that. But abortion has become a form of birth control. Can you agree with that?
I mean, anything that Well, all of it, obviously, anything can be considered birth control. I mean, me deciding to not have sex is birth control. I mean,
And that's what more people should do.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know, because I don't think that that's necessarily something that we can police. Like, what, you're going to go into people's
I'm
bedrooms
not policing, but I'm saying, though, if you're going to decide to have sex, don't kill the baby after you have sex. Pretty
Well,
simple.
I don't
Because you
think
made a
that-
decision to get pregnant.
I don't think that that's necessarily a good argument. I mean, there's more nuance to that.
There's no nuance to it. A human life exists. I can't murder someone in the crowd. Why? Because murder is wrong. You can't murder someone in a womb. Why? Because murder is wrong. Thank you for your time.
You know, the annoying thing is, regardless of how you twist this, abortion is wrong, you understand? You might say it's saving the mother's life, or it helps the mother to be able to at least focus on her career, focus on her life, but regardless of how you twist the word, it is wrong. You understand? That's why Charlie is always winning when it comes to this topic, because, and I'm surprised, most people that advocate for this are ladies, you understand, because they feel it's their body, it's their right, but the child also have a right, and you took the right away from the child by bringing the child here. You make the decision with the man, and that, okay, let's do it. Even if it's not consensual. When it's not consensual, the states have a way of helping you out, which give birth to the baby and the state to take care of the child. Sacrificing 9 months for the life of that child is worth everything, you understand? Because you might feel like, I have to pursue my career, I have to do this. If it's university, it can always be on hold. You can put it on hold for some time, then come back and resume. No one is going to prevent you from going back to school. If it comes to work, people take pregnancy leave, and also if it's health-threatening, that is when, at least, probability of that happening is like, let's say, 2%. Because majority of the time, the reason why people want to have abortion is because they don't want the baby. It's like, I need a good example for this. It's like going to university, get a certificate, and now you don't want to work with it because you feel like you don't need it. That is it. You perform the act that led to the baby being here. So you can't eat your cake and have it. You have to, you have to just live with it, you understand? But I know America is a country whereby everyone have rights, you understand? Everyone wants to claim that, yes, I have right to do this, I have rights to bring my baby on board, and if I don't want this baby, I have right to eliminate the baby. But that is not your right, because it's another person's right. Now it's no longer yours, because you are not taking your life, you are taking someone else's life. So you are taking a decision for someone. As far as the baby has been formed, now we have a third person that have a right to take their decision. I don't know if suicide is a crime, but I don't think it's a crime, or attempted suicide, you understand? But I feel the baby have every right to take their life if they eventually come to this world. You understand? But as far as the baby is in the womb, the baby is growing, the baby have life. So the baby have a decision to take. And that is why American is taking that decision for the child, because the child is not yet able to fend for themselves or fight for themselves. So you as a parent that decide to perform, or you as a woman or as a guy that decide to perform the act, should not only enjoy the benefit of the act and run away from the repercussion. As far as you decide to perform the act, you have to live with the consequence. You understand? So anyway, I watched this lady try to escape from this. Like, she tried to escape from this, bringing different things, talking about her brother, that the mom's life was in danger. And she actually shot herself, because talking about your brother, and at the end of the day, your brother survived, is a plus to Charlie, because now you've seen your brother, you don't want anything bad to happen to your brother, and still you're advocating for women to have the right to abort. Aborting is like self-medicating, and in American, you don't self-medicate. Before you get prescription or from pharmacy, you have to provide doctor prescription before they'll be able to give you. Unlike we in Africa, whereby we self-medicate, you understand? And that thing is actually harming us, because now you are taking medication for something that you might not even have, because you are self-medicating. So if the system says, we don't want this anymore, we feel we want to fight for the child, and Americans have been doing this for long. Even if you give birth and you can't cater for these children, there's a system out there to help the children. You understand? And, they provide for the children till they are old enough to take care of themselves. So if you feel you can't handle this as a woman or as a mother, or as parents, the system is there to help you out. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section. It is your first time visiting the channel, click on the subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and remain blessed.